It's Wednesday night.
The New York Theater Barn
is live! Good evening and welcome to New York Theater Barn's New Work Series Live. I'm Joe Barros and I'm the Artistic Director.
And I am Jen Sandler and I am the Associate Artistic Director. Joe, I love this backdrop behind you, this Christmassy backdrop.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Check it out.
I joked that I could get my menorah, but I feel like that would be really intense, right? Like I got it as a joke. I feel like I just would hold it for the entire broadcast.
You know, there's room for all of us at the table. So that's cool. We can have menorahs and Christmas trees and everything.
I'm gonna put it away because I think I'm being intense, but I tried. But tonight, enough about holidays. As great as they are, we are excited to present excerpts from the new musicals, Millennials Are Killing Musicals, and The Ladies' Man.
And we are honored to be giving the first public look at both shows. It's really been a thrilling week for New York Theater Barn. There's been a lot of growth. We continue to be excited about our partnership with Broadway Records through our imprint Theater Barn Records. Our first release, Willow, is continuing to exceed all of our expectations. It debuted at number 7 on the Billboard Cast Album charts and is currently at 1 million streams on Spotify and 300,000 on Amazon Music. And
to think it all started on TikTok, which is absurd, but look at Ratatouille now. Anything is possible. So how about that?
Yeah, really? Even Ken Davenport wants to produce it. Anything's possible. Anything's
possible. So welcome to the 13th season of our New Work Series and the 31st installment of our virtual New Work Series. Since March and with all of our virtual programming combined, we have presented 64 new musicals, lifted up the work of 110 writers, and made space for over 300 artists. And as always, like every week, we are simulcasting to Broadway On Demand, and we love and thank our friends there for all the support they give us.
Yep, and it's almost the end of 2020, and it's truly our honor to continue supporting new stories and artists we need to hear from. Here to tell us more about how you can support New York Theater Barn is a super fan and cheerleader of our company, the lovely Cinderella Mayo.
Hi, I'm Cinderella Mayo, and I'm coming to you from my home in Manila, Philippines. I met Joe Barros when his theatrical work took him to Singapore, and ever since, I have been a loyal fan of New York Theater Barn. One of the highlights of my week during this pandemic has been watching NYTV's virtual programming, and it has always left me inspired and excited by the new work I'm experiencing. The NYTV family is excited about tonight's original culture-shifting musicals, The Ladies' Man and Millennials Are Killing Musicals. The company is proud to lift the work of Shannon Hunt, Nico Juber, and Justin Mortelliti. New York Theater Barn is a 501c3 non-profit organization, and your gift tonight is tax deductible. I'm proud to support an organization that is fostering community and lifting up so many artists during this difficult time. Thank you for supporting live theater and the development of original musicals. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Cinderella. We are grateful for you and the light and love you bring to our company.
I agree. She's great. And she's someone, if you look at any of our posts every week on Instagram, she's always sharing stuff about us. We're always resharing her. She's a light and we're so wonderful. It's so wonderful to know her. So last week's New Work series featured the new musicals Broken Ground, and it came from outer space. Here is a clip from our presentation of Broken Ground. Take a look.
You ever heard of Nushu, this language that was written by and for women? I hadn't. I don't know what the story is, but I've always been interested in some musical that has this at its core. Of course, Jason was the person that I had to write this with, and so through our research, it just became more and more exciting to us to be able to tell a story about empowerment, women being empowered by their curiosity.
You will rise anew as the blessings come to you, and then you will have broken.
We started to see this sort of recurring theme, and these very words, it was a secret language, a language of tears. And after a while, I kind of started to feel like I needed to push back against this idea of a language of tears and Chinese women in perpetual misery and oppression. Whatever the systems are in place, whether it's oppression in the US or Europe or China, people find a way to be happy. They find a way to make their lives work.
I feel like so much of my life's work actually has been about shifting perceptions of who we are and what we can do, especially Asians and Asian Americans. And that's not only through my advocacy work, but literally writing us into the narrative of American storytelling.
That's where I'm free to embody the actuality of me. Do you see?
Pretty amazing show to think that there's this, secret underground language for women in China to communicate.
And I think the fact that they're still so early in their development is crazy. And it's just, where else are they going to go now but up? And so much is going to keep happening.
Totally. And now here's a clip from last week's presentation of It Came from Outer Space. Take a look.
We went and saw a actual screening at a movie theater of It Came from Outer Space. And this was right when President Trump was taking over the White House. And we were both really taken by how topical and how ahead of its time the movie seemed. The whole thing is about fear of otherness and get the aliens out of America. We don't want them here. It was also the first science fiction film where the twist is that the aliens are not the bad guys. It's actually the small-minded people trying to get rid of them who don't understand them who are the bad guys. So John, in this moment that we're about to see, tries to convince Ellen that he truly does want to be here and that he's more than ready for this brand new start.
But although I'm well aware that there's not a lot to do here, I don't care if I can marry you here.
Oh, John, are you serious?
So let's get ourselves a brand new start.
We can make a brand new life.
I can picture every part.
As a brand new life. Not a single thing we won't share.
All except the things we don't share.
Gotta love this brand new start.
So will you marry me?
Every night we'll watch the sky.
Every inch of worth of art. Sharing one big brand new heart.
It'll be a grand new.
Even if a somewhat bland new, let's begin our brand new start.
Later, Jennifer, who plays Ellen, has a fight with that guy, John, and she goes into a local dive bar to drink her troubles away.
Excuse me, fellow Earthlings. Do either of you have a spare nuclear conductor I could borrow? I'm trying to make dinner.
Fresh out of nuclear conductors. But if you'd like to join us, we're singing about how we understand most creatures, but not men.
Tell me about it. I met this one man on the way here who offered me a knuckle sandwich and then started screaming when I ate his hand. He offered it.
They're the most confusing creatures on Earth.
In the solar system.
No. In the entire universe.
There are critters here and yonder, but they rarely make us ponder. Only one confounds us time and again. Man, oh man, oh man, I can't figure out. Man, oh man, oh man.
Also, armadillos, why?
Man, oh man, oh man, I can't figure out. Man.
I'm such a fan of Murder for Two, so I can't wait for this, and I love Chicago Shake, so what better, right? So with that, now let's get started with our first show of the night. Our first musical tonight is Millennials Are Killing Musicals, which has book, music, and lyrics by Nico Juber.
Yes, meet Brenda, a quirky, stressed-out single mom who hates her job, longs to be a writer, and can't help but compare herself to the seemingly perfect Jake's mom at school. Brenda is finally ready for love and creativity in her life when her hashtag influencer sister Katrina shows up 8 months pregnant, completely unprepared for motherhood. Torn between two men, juggling an opinionated mother and an increasingly unstable Katrina, Brenda must learn how to break her self-destructive patterns and live filter-free so she can achieve her dreams. Millennials Are Killing Musicals is an entirely original, irreverently funny, and heartfelt musical about the millennial existential crisis, motherhood, and stereotypes that define a generation.
Sounds familiar. And now joining us from her home in Southern California is the writer of Millennials Are Killing Musicals, Nico Juber.
Hello.
Nico.
Hi, Nico.
How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you are a writer, a Los Angeles native, mother, and an 18-year cancer survivor.
Yes.
You even have a nonprofit foundation to support survivors called Thrive Survive Los Angeles.
Yep.
Your work was recently recognized through NAMP's 15-minute musical challenge. You were judges for.
Yes, thank you guys.
You come from an exciting family of entertainers, including your father, music legend and guitarist of Paul McCartney and the Wings' Lawrence Juber. But it doesn't stop there. Your grandfather is Sherwood Schwartz, the creator of shows like The Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island, which Jen and my families loved and enjoyed growing up and still talk about all the time.
Awesome.
In fact, I can't have pork chops without thinking about applesauce.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, vice versa. Yeah.
It's clear the arts have always been in your blood. When did you decide to join the family business of sorts, or when did you discover that you were a writer and it was always a part of who you were going to be?
Yeah, you know, I've always written comedy and just written in general, and I've been a musician, but I kind of pushed it all to the side. I think especially being a cancer survivor, when I graduated college, I thought I need to get a corporate job. I need the benefits. I need the stability, because at that time there was no such thing as Obamacare, and we didn't know if we would have coverage for pre-existing conditions. So I kind of just put it out of my head and went about my days, you know, working my corporate job. I had 2 kids. My kids are 5 and 7 now. And it was, well, they were a little younger at the time. So it was a little less than 2 years ago. I was between ending an old job and starting a new job. I had this period of time to myself where I had childcare. I was by myself alone, and I just started writing. I had stuff just kind of come out of me. And I always joke about the fact that I think I have a musical writing gene that got activated in my mid-30s, and I had no control over it. So that was the timing. And then I've been working on, it was Millennials, and it was this show, and I've been working on the show since then. And the 15-minute one that you mentioned was another one that I did earlier in the pandemic as part of the NAMP challenge.
We love it. And what made you want to tell the story of Millennials Are Killing Musicals? You know, it's a story when we first heard about it, we can relate to on so many levels, and I'm sure so many can.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at its core, you know, there's a lot about motherhood that I didn't see represented in a lot of places in theater, especially musical theater. in a really authentic and gritty way. A lot of the times it's, I had a baby, and it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think that parenthood is so much more complicated than that. It's the best, it's hard, it's, it's all of those things. And so I wanted to see that represented in a show. And then I was going through my own millennial existential crisis of kind of weighing, these creative ideas and what that would mean for me if I gave into them versus staying in the stability of kind of a corporate type role. And so that's really what came out through this. And that's why I decided to tell the story at the time. And I think the title, Millennials Are Killing Musicals, is really referring to the main character and really everyone in the show up against this constant voice of, as a generation, millennials are killing this, millennials are killing that, and trying to find yourself and your creativity and your passions within that ongoing noise all the time.
That's awesome. And I want to acknowledge Diana Huey, who made us aware of this awesome show.
Hi, Diana.
Hi, Diana. We love Diana.
We love she has now, after tonight, been on 3 of our broadcasts since this pandemic began. So she is a star of
absolutely.
Of our organization for sure.
Yep.
Cool. Well, let's bring on some of our friends who are backstage.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring on your director, Ryan O'Connor, and your music director, Ted Arthur.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, it's such an honor to be here.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
You're 3 hours in the past.
I know. I hope you guys take care of the future for me before
Ted is just in Indiana, so someone will do it.
Ted's
I'm in between everybody, yes.
Yeah. But I wanted to say really quickly about this creative team. I feel so lucky, and we can talk about the development and how they came into it. But I really wanted to have different perspectives. And I think because there is so much motherhood in the show, it was important to me to make it a slice of millennial story and to have a millennial creative team that brought really different perspectives. So even though it's such a specific story, it's relatable, I think, beyond motherhood, beyond womanhood, beyond any of that, but more to the millennial experience and through all of the characters and their experiences.
Yeah, I think one thing we've talked about a lot, Nico and Ted and I, is the idea of that Brenda is the central character of this piece, and she is a millennial woman who is a single mom, and she has all these very specific experiences, but they all exist within the background of being a millennial. And I won't speak for Ted, but Nico and I are both what you would refer to as elder millennials. We're right at the top end of the millennial spectrum. And I think my feeling is that what you get from Brenda, with all of the characters, with the exception of her mother, being millennial in the piece, you have this constant pushback of Brenda feeling like she identifies with the millennial experience and that we're all living out of this little rectangle that lives in the palm of our hand, and that's our complete identity and existence, but also that she has this voice of pragmatism and that there's something about her that wants to do the right thing, not just the revolutionary thing. And that balance between her mother, Nana Marie, the like hip boomer type, and her sister, Katrina, who is in many ways the sort of stereotypical millennial character. That's how you meet her. That's how she's presented. And then you learn more that she's actually fighting against her own experience, and everyone's fighting against the backdrop of the experience that the box they're put in by the generation they just happen to have been born. So I think that's what makes the show relatable to everyone. And also, like all good work, it's relatable because it's a specific experience. And the more specific anything is, the more universal it is, in my opinion. So that's what I love about the piece.
Totally. And Ted, tell us more about the music.
Yeah, it's interesting, as far as development goes. I came on board and met Nico through a mutual friend who is our producer. And, she told me that Nico is this, amazing writer, and sent me a Dropbox of some files. And I think what is so compelling about the show musically is that Nico is able to really create songs that just kind of stick with you. I think that's, you always want to be in a show where you leave, humming the melody of the show. And I think there are so many earworms in this show that that are really something that you could, hear on the radio today. I think it's so great. And Nico, when she presented a lot of them, had them done professionally in a studio. And, we're listening to these. We always say, say like the one you'll hear tonight, there's an edit of it that you could turn on the radio and imagine yourself listening to it. So she captures the quality of different styles in the show. There's it's just a really a great capture of great songwriting, I think.
Thank you, Ted. I like you too.
but
Ryan.
I think that's what it is. I mean, it's each song tells a specific story, but it really it's something that you'll remember long after the end of the show.
So let's hear about the first song we're gonna see tonight.
Yeah, the first song is called I'm Basic, and that is the song that's sort of the theme song of Katrina, the stereotypical millennial that we talked about. And this is featuring Diana Huey, who is watching right now and has been developing the show with us. We love her, and we know you're a huge fan of hers.
Millennial snaps for Diana Huey.
And also has backing vocals by Devin Rush, who's been really great in working with on the show.
So here is Diana.
Avocado toast life, pumpkin spice chai latte life. Go fund my life till it's lived well. Online drama, group hell, some things I can never tell. Girl, won't you be my friend? I can help you stay on trend. Yeah, I'm basic. I'm basic, yeah. As long as I face it. Yoga pants tucked into a boot. That basic. My face on your screen. Drinking caffeine. I'm famous on the internet. Yeah, that means we've never met. Yeah, I'm basic. She's basic. I'm basic, yeah. Like, love, comment, click, share it, post it, meme it, slick. Instagram it, make it real. Filter till it's how you feel. YouTube channel, make a buck. Drink wine like you give a fuck. Up all night, work all day. Just keep those fine lines at bay. Yeah, I'm basic. I'm basic, yeah. It's clearer than LASIK. Wearing a scarf in the summer, that basic. Shopping at Zara, wearing shirts about karma. I'm famous on the internet. Yeah, that means we've never met. Yeah, I'm basic. She's basic. We are millennials. It means we're ephemeral. Taken to half-assing everything in general. Can't get a job, can't save a buck. Socially, emotionally, financially stuck. Yeah, we're basic. We're basic, yeah. As long as we face it. Ombre hair, selfie taking bitches. That basic. Drinking our kale, bedazzling one nail. We're famous on the internet. Yeah, that means we've never met. She's basic. I'm basic. We're basic. I'm basic. I'm famous on the internet. Kids, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yes, Diana.
I love I'm basic. It's clearer than LASIK. I mean, that's
my favorite lyric too, Joe.
It is so hard to rhyme basic, let me tell you.
That's when you had me, like, hardcore.
Oh, good.
Someone says, wowza, I agree. And wow.
Yes, wows and wowzas. I love
So much
that.
fun.
Yes, Diana.
Diana's such a star.
So I know the show has been mostly developed privately, but you had some really fun opportunities lately with the song Who I Am.
Yes. Well, we actually were selected, I found out after the fact, for the Little New Music showcase, and that unfortunately was pushed and not happening due to COVID. So that would have been the premiere of Who I Am. But Asmaret, who you'll see do the song shortly, did it at a benefit recently for A Step. So that was a really cool thing for me. It was the first time any of my songs had ever been done in any format live. So this is number 2. That's first time anyone else has heard Basic. So,
and if people don't know A Step, it's founded by the amazing Mary Mitchell Campbell, and people should know about it.
Yes, and go donate there. I think that's a great one to give to if you're in the giving Tuesday, Wednesday kind of state of mind.
Giving every day. We say giving Tuesday.
Giving every day
here and your theater barn. So
yes, exactly.
I don't think we said what that acronym was. It's Artists Striving to End Poverty.
Yes.
A-Step.
Sorry.
No problem.
And if you saw the big concert, the one that Raul Esparza was doing back in the spring, that was for A Step. So
Ted Arthur worked on that.
Yes.
That's fun.
Remember that pandemic event?
That
feels
feels
like a million years ago.
Yes.
Sondheim's birthday feels like, I mean,
Sondheim's
so long ago.
100 years old.
Exactly. We're all 90 in 2020.
It was so fun though to see Sondheim's favorite song, "Someone in a Tree," which is a beautiful masterpiece. But enough about Sondheim and back to who I
That's another show.
Yes.
So tell us about Who I Am, which is the song we've been talking about that we're going to see next.
Yeah, so this song is really kind of the big moment for Brenda, the main character, where she has her transformation. I don't want to say too much about it, but you'll kind of hear her go through that transformation as the song goes on. But it's kind of, the big 11 o'clock number part of the show. And I think it was very emotional for me to write because it's very personal. And a lot of the times I go back and I'll rewrite songs 700 times, rewrite lyrics, LASIK, all of that. But this one I really, really couldn't touch very much. So I hope you guys like it.
And who is singing this?
Oh, sorry. Asmaret, who is, she's playing Brenda in our show. And she's been developing Gebra Michael. I hope I said her last name right. And I apologize if I said it wrong.
Here is Asmaret.
Isn't it funny how we ask the world for something better, and our cycles keep repeating each and every day? Isn't it weird how the soul has seasons like the weather? My heart is feeling cold today, and I can't keep holding all this weight on my shoulders. I'm going around in circles trying to change who I am. I am not good at falling apart. Who I am someone's mom, and that's a start. Who I am depends on who you're asking. Who I am depends on who I've needed to be. It's easy to sit around and wallow in self-pity. The only problem there is who will take the reins. Then I meet someone good and decent in this city. Of course, I run away. And I can't keep on shouting into darkness. And I can't keep on standing in my own way. Who I am not defined by someone else. Who I am more than just a paycheck and common sense. I am capable of anything. Who I am capable of anything. I am capable of anything. I think I'm done making excuses for myself and prioritizing everybody else instead of me. than just someone small. Well, that's a start. I am capable of anything. Who I am changes today. Who I'll be is someone who breaks patterns. Who I'll be is someone filter-free. Who I'll be is someone grounded in reality. And that reality is up to
Yes, Esmeralda!
Oh, thank you.
A lot of comments coming in.
Thank you.
I
It's a
love,
great performance.
I love I'm capable of anything. I want to get that painted on my wall.
It's funny. No one, we can see everyone backstage. No one else can. So we watched Ryan mouth that whole song word for word, and it was
I was literally mouthing along and had no idea anybody could see me. But I do. I mean, it's shocking I wasn't singing along because normally I do. I toss Asmaret in my earbuds and I sing along. I'm upset. I said in the comments, I'll never get sick of that song. It's such a, it's refreshing and honest, and also it's one of those songs that you discover something new. There's so many hooks in it of experience and moving forward. It moves story forward in a way that also acknowledges that sometimes the biggest actions in our life are just a shift in perspective. And I think that the song captures that without being too stagnant and still. So I can't help but sing along. It gets me. The action is in my bones.
And we're getting to that about both songs. Someone says, "Oh damn, I am basic. Where can I buy the song?"
I love what you said about a shift in perspective. It sort of reminds me of that quote, in a society that profits from your self-doubt, loving yourself is a rebellious act.
Yeah.
The awareness of that you can love yourself and that it's okay to love yourself and that loving yourself is actually a healthy thing for you and the world around you.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a lot of this. I mean, I don't want to speak for Nico too much, but I do think there's a lot of that in this show that when Katrina and Brenda sort of eclipse each other in their experience, it's about everybody's individuality is valid and affects the environment around them. And therefore, by being individual within a bigger world, you get this, this revolutionary, radical experience that is personal and also changes the world.
I love when Ryan speaks for me. Ryan always has a good way of putting it. But I confession, I totally will listen to Asmaret saying my song as like a pep talk for myself. So it's just I love her. I love her singing the song. I think that one of the reasons her and I connected and she connected to this role specifically is she was kind of going through something, finding her own voice as a writer and an artist, and I think that really connected her to the material.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think we have time for maybe one more question. Or Jen, are we running out of time?
I think we're running out of time. And we just kind of asked, my question was going to be my wild card. You guys got to just answered. So, Kismet.
Love Kismet. What a great show.
Awesome. Well, if you want to know more about Millennials Are Killing Musicals, check out this website. And also, there's the Instagram handle.
Yep.
Follow. Of course, there's an Instagram handle for a millennial musical. Come on.
Absolutely. Really quickly, that we were saying it's irreverently funny, and this was such a powerful song. There's also a song in the show called "Never Poop Alone."
Yeah.
So there's all over the place. But
we all FaceTime. It's a thing.
Well, thank you so much, Nico, Ted, and Ryan. We can't wait to hear more from Millennials Are Killing Musicals. We'll
Thank
see
you guys so much for having us.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And now on to the second half of our presentation, The Ladies' Man, which has music and lyrics by Shannon Hunt, and book music and lyrics by Justin Mortelliti.
Yes, The Ladies' Man centers around Julian, an Italian-American boy from New Jersey who deals with the struggles of coming out and coming of age while escaping the shaming guilt of a Roman Catholic family and religion. With the help of his colorful, hilarious, and fiercely loyal friends, plus an arsenal of New Jersey attitude, Julian navigates his way into adulthood, learning to face and accept the truth of himself at all cost.
And now joining us from their homes on opposite sides of the country are the writers of The Ladies' Man, Shannon Hunt and Justin Mortelliti.
Hello.
Guys.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Hey, guys.
Thanks so much for being here.
So excited to be here. Thank you.
Well, let's dive in.
Hi. Hello, everyone in New York.
So let's dive in. Justin, you are a treasured member of our theater community. You were seen on Broadway in the delightful Escape to Margaritaville,
Hey.
off-Broadway in Clueless, and in the Las Vegas production of Rock of Ages.
Biggest fan.
You've also been seen on the West Coast in many regional productions, as well as many notable television shows. And you're a true multi-hyphenate because you're also a musician, you play the violin, and you're a recording artist. Shannon, you are a Los Angeles-based singer-songwriter and vocal coach. You've recorded 2 solo albums, opened for many artists, including the Zac Brown Band and Sheryl Crow, written jingles for Coca-Cola and Dasani, and had original songs featured in various film and TV projects. You have co-fronted 2 pop duos, including the incomparable Steffi and Pepper with Justin. So, how did you 2 begin collaborating together, and what sparked you to want to write The Ladies' Man together?
Would you like to start out with this one, Justin?
I met slinging drinks at a really popular gay bar in West Hollywood. This was back in 2008, Shan?
2007, I think.
And we were at the computer, putting in our order, and I heard her do a little riff, and I was like, "You sing?" But, yeah, you sing. And so we started singing together and writing together, and we both were at it in the LA scene, trying to land that record deal. And then we started playing at the Whiskey Go-Go and gay bars around town, and putting out music videos, and just building our book of songs and building our friendship as well. And Shannon's my sister now, so it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate down to a T. I think that, specifically you asked when we started writing this musical, which we really didn't. We spent 10 years together as best friends and as songwriting partners, and then our ridiculous stint as Steffi and Pepper, who as songwriters was great and so much fun. But then Justin, you started writing the book, and we realized from different sides of the coast that our songs that we had written independently of this were fitting into this story, which was so wonderful.
And why The Ladies' Man?
To put it simply, because something has to be done. And I say that as far as as a gay community, our stories are just now beginning to be told. And there are so many different stories from different perspectives that need to be told. It's essential. And for me, the story is semi-autobiographical. It's based on a lot of things I've been through and I've learned, and also friends of mine and people I've met along the way. And I knew I wanted to write this story. And when I sat down to write this story, I started realizing, oh, wow, when I was going through this really important moment in my life, I wrote this song. And at this moment, I wrote this song. And that's when I contacted Shannon. I was like, Shannon, I think we've been writing this musical for 10 years and we didn't know it.
Accidental musical.
Yeah. And so I got to work. And the thing is, The Ladies' Man is about love and faith versus religion and family and friendship. But ultimately, it's about gay shame and the effects it can have on a person and a family. I grew up in a very religious household, Italian-American, New Jersey. And not only are there a lot of religious expectations, there's a lot of cultural expectations too. And I know this is universal in the Latin American community and the African American community, these cultural expectations specifically of a man. And the way that shame and self-hate, the subtle ways it's enforced when you're younger, and how it becomes your everything. I knew I was different from the time I was little. I couldn't really pinpoint gay. I didn't really get it, but figured that out later down the line. But the shame and the self-hate began being built from a very young age. And this is across the board. I mean, gay marriage happened in 2015. Like, this is new. And most people grew up with this awful eating thing inside of us, right? And you begin to see the way it affects your life as you grow up, as you grow into a man, into an adult. And this is across the board in the LGBTQ community. I'm speaking from the gay male perspective, but I'm sure it's different in subtle ways, but the shame is universal. And conversion therapy needs to be stopped. These ideas of this religion, and it's not all religions, it's specific things, but embedding these expectations upon people. I began to see in working in the gay bar, specifically with Shannon, very clear examples of this, of how people were self-sabotaging themselves and spiraling. And even to this day now, it's a couple times a year I'm seeing people on Facebook who have died, suicide, drug overdose, this trauma being played out in our lives. And so I knew I needed to tell my story. I'm someone who, it'll be a journey. It's a constant journey to work on, but I'm someone who survived it when a lot of people don't. And I felt a responsibility sort of to the next generation. As a gay man, we have to pass along messages and stories of how we survived to help other people. And there's not enough musicals in particular, and stories in general being told that send these messages. I was thinking about this recently. I spoke to some straight friends of mine, because this is not only a thing gay people need to learn, straight people as well. And I was trying to explain to them about like sexual trauma growing up, like trying to not be gay. And I was like, gosh, remember like when you were 16 and everyone's having their sexual awakening and people are losing their virginity in high school and everyone's talking about sex. I had to force myself to do something that didn't feel right. And I said, imagine if it was reversed. You, at that tender age of 16, had to force yourself to be with a man. And you did so until your 20s, over and over again. It's sexual trauma. And it's emotional trauma. And my buddies were like, oh God, I never thought of it that way. I was like, of course you haven't. You haven't had to. This isn't your experience. But you should listen. You should learn about other people's experiences for empathy, for compassion, for understanding, right?
And that trauma is still here. And I think that's the reason why we need to tell stories through music. As a gay man who grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area during the AIDS crisis, to think, okay, I'm going to come out as gay right now while everybody is seeing what gay is as people dying and sinning because of this death was traumatic for me. And also, aside from that, my grandparents died of AIDS in the 80s. My grandfather had a blood transfusion, gave it to my grandmother. So this other sort of otherness attached to it and the stigma of it. And then yesterday to see that there are these blood banks in New York City who want people to donate blood on World AIDS Day. That's trauma. That's collective trauma that's never ending. And so that's ultimately why a musical and why storytelling is incredibly important right now.
Yes, agreed. And we have to write the things that we know. It's the only way to be honest and real, and by being vulnerable. And ultimately for me, my vulnerability is how I survived it. By opening up to friends and loved ones and, extended family members who lifted me up.
Well, thanks for sharing your story with us. It's incredibly powerful. And I love sort of the magical journey that you both came to through your friendship, discovering that you were telling a story you always wanted to tell, but didn't even know that. So set up the first song for us. Because we'd love to know more about the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, something I also want to mention really quickly is that a lot of Shannon's music that she wrote, the show is composed of songs I wrote, songs Shannon wrote, and songs we wrote together. And it was crazy that a lot of the songs that she wrote, there's a few key female principal characters in the show. And when they're going through specific moments, Shannon's songs that she wrote going through specific moments in her life slid right into their mouths, and became their voice, which was incredible.
So this is truly autobiographical in more ways than you ever expected.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit last night, just kind of prepping for today and in all of our excitement. And what I would encourage, and I am a straight white female. And so although I have, pretty much all gay friends, I cannot relate to that personal experience that Justin has been through, that Joe has been through. But I do encourage all of my artists out there, young and old, to keep writing, because you really never know how your songs and how your experiences are going to help other people and where they're going to fit in someday. And so we were talking about that, just like continuing the artistry, no matter what, no matter if they're going to go someplace or not, because you might help one other person. I think really that's all music is about, in my opinion.
Love it,
Amen.
So anyway.
Anyway.
Tell us a little bit about I Want Your Love.
This is a song called I Want Your Love. I'm going to read a little something I wrote about the show. The theatricality in this show is found between the dark realism in which the story of Julian and his family lives and the electric blue fantasy world that exists in the music in between. A dark comedy that often transforms into a haunting neon music video as things shift between theater and reality, light and dark, pop and rock. There's moments in the show I consider it a play with music. You know, the story is very dark and gritty and real. And there's moments when it shifts into the musical numbers. And it's going to become like a neon music video in Julian's head. And in this specific case, the kids are between 17 and 18 years old. They're seniors in high school. This is midway through Act 1. And it's the sexual awakening. Everyone's talking about sex and losing their virginity. The song's with all of Julian and all his friends, and the peer pressure, specifically from the boys, of playing that role. Julian decides to lose his virginity to Holly, which ultimately, for all the kids, it's an amazing pop dance number. But for Julian, it's a scene of sexual trauma for him and Holly.
Do we want to attempt to name everybody in this song?
Yeah, I'm playing Julian in this, but we have Holly, played by Ryan Redmond, Talia Groves, Jared Reinfeld, Amber Ardolino, Justin Scholl, and Aiden Wharton.
So here is I Want Your Love.
My head is beginning to spin. My heart is a drum and I'm dancing again. My feet start to dig in. My hands feel the beat and I can't stop. And I know that every time that you look at me, I want your love, I want your love, I want your love, your love, I want your love, and I can never get enough. I want your love, your love, I want your love, I'm getting in like giving up. I'm gonna find that high and lost my mind, because you're out there dangerous. I want your love, I want your love, I want your love, love. Feel ya, put your hands all over me. The fever is starting to grow. I'm feeling the heat and I'm ready to go. I get what I want, you should know. The beat's so good. The beat's feeling fast, and I can't stop. And I know that I can't control it. Every time that you look at me, I want your love, 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 I can never get enough.
I'm ready.
You sure? Maybe we should wait.
Nope, I am ready now. I want to lose it to you.
Damn, I'm gonna have to go to confession. Oh God. Oh shit, I'm so sorry. I don't have any candles.
Okay. Do you have any condoms?
Yeah.
Little House on the Prairie?
Oh yeah, I've had one hidden in there for a while. I've been waiting to use it with someone special.
Don't be weird.
Okay.
I really wanna feel ya. Put your hands all over me. Put your hands all over me. You know I really wanna feel ya. Put your hands all over me. Put your hands all over me. I really wanna feel ya. Got you crawling on the floor, begging you for more. I really wanna feel ya. So tell me what you're waiting.
I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm
I can't keep up with these comments.
It's giving me vibes like I just rolled off the Rolladium and went to get more popcorn, and I'm like out of breath, and I'm like singing da 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 da.
Yes!
I mean, I know I'm pregnant, but that's our song that we wrote, and it's so amazing seeing all these incredible performers, and then I'm just so utterly floored and proud of Justin for telling this story, and I'm just so happy to be part of it. I'm just so emotional right now.
And you haven't said this yet. You know, this show has only had private readings up until now. So for you to make this happen and make this what we're seeing tonight happen is so important.
Yeah, listen, we have had 3 private readings of it to work out some kinks over the last 6 years, and now it's ready to get in the public eye, and hopefully, you know, some producers are going to see this and want to pick it up and help us bring it to life, bring it to the people, you know.
Totally, as they should. And so let's not waste any time. Let's tell them more about the second song.
Yeah. So the second song is called "If You Were Wrong." I'm playing Julian again, but later in life. The show spans from the 80s to the 90s, 2000s, and into the teens. And it's also Andrew Chappelle, who plays Jamie, who is Julian's best friend. And there are cameos by Casey Garvin and Brett Thiel. The year's 2012. We're in a gay dive bar in New Jersey. Gay hookup apps are beginning to boom. Gay marriage is still illegal, and at-home HIV tests are brand new. At this point, Julian is out and accepted who he is, but he is on his journey still to escape his past and begin to love himself. Also, this song is going to be released on iTunes this week.
Yay. So here is If You Are Wrong. Take a look.
Have you ever fallen in love based on a profile pic?
No.
Oh.
Hey, you look hotter in person. So you gonna respond to my messages or what?
I turned off my notifications.
Well, I can turn you back on.
Not tonight, hot stuff.
Definitely not tonight.
You don't want to hook up in this town.
I see that. But once I get them beer goggles going...
You want scabies?
No. And actually... I don't feel up for the guilt hangover anyway, so.
Oh, the ex-altar boy and his Catholic guilt. Look, I'm sorry, but I cannot relate. The true tea, I'm on that app to date. And trade dick pics. Not bang it out bye-bye like you, girl. You're feeling that guilt because it's nothing but empty sex.
It sure feels good at the time.
The Madonna complex.
Oh, I love Madonna.
Obviously. Not that kind of complex. Everybody be hooking up with strangers on the daily, and then when they try to have something real or even feel something real, they're incapable. It's called the Madonna complex, and it's an epidemic in our community. These guys are all dying inside, just like those boys 2 decades ago.
Make a mistake, making a call, late in the night, feeling alone. Nobody's there, but nobody's home. Eyes at the door, hands on my face, follow my cure, don't go to waste. Let me feel wrong, take me away. There's another kind of turning point that's making me stay. I don't want another one like you, another mistake. I can feel the pull inside of me that's making me stay on my own, on my own. If you were wrong, I need you, follow the song. Yes, you do, you'll get along while I'm through. If you were wrong, if you were wrong, if you were wrong, I need you, follow the song. Yes, you do, you'll get along while I'm through. If you were wrong, if you were wrong.
Life is supposed to be rainbows and shit after you come out. Why is this all so hard?
Because that's where the real work starts.
Shut up, Oprah.
Well, what the hell do you want?
A happy ending.
Oh, I'm sure you've had plenty of those, girl.
I know.
Have you ever been tested?
Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
I mean, I'm nervous. I don't know. I don't want to know, you know?
I know. I get it. But you've been with a lot of You've been kind of slutty.
Girl,
no judgment.
I can't let my family be right, Jamie.
Let's not worry about them. If you happen to be positive, it's not a death sentence. You're not going to die from AIDS. It's not 1985.
I made choices, and I liked it. I put myself in dangerous situations, and I liked it.
Choices. Yeah, I mean, what choices do we have when deep down we all feel a little worthless? I mean, we fight it, but it's there. Those choices were made for you long before you made them.
Somewhere in time, I'm making a choice like a deep red wine without any toys and not like a hole. I'm missing a piece of my mind, of my mind. There's another kind of turning point. I'm watching the day fall down and I'm feeling what's underground and I'm missing a piece of my mind, of my mind.
I think the bartender just sent me a message.
Hey, Bar Bear, we're sitting right in front of you. You forget how to speak?
Yeah, I don't know if
I think the bartender just sent me a message.
Hey, Bar Bear, we're sitting right in front of you. You forget how to speak?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys were together. I was trying to be stealth.
Okay, stop being shady and pour us another shot.
I'm deleting this app.
Listen, it's clear as day you're seeking out love via sex roles. Your family, and on the real society as a whole for the most part, make us believe that who we are deep down in our Britney-loving core is wrong, is evil. We can't even get married, which is bullshit, and it fucks us up. Then they dare to say that the gay community has addiction and sin and is filled with unhappy, sex-crazed men. We were made to be this way, born fabulous, then fucked up in our heads by them. We are all just doing our best to exist in their world. Listen, they got this new at-home test. They'll give you the results like right away.
Crap. Okay.
Bottoms up.
Ooh. You better believe it.
Jamie, you're my gay Yoda.
May the force be with you, bitch.
If you were wrong, if you were wrong, if you were wrong. If you were wrong, I want you.
How much longer?
I don't know. We should be seeing some results any minute now. Just breathe.
I want to go back, James. Back before I believed what they taught me. Before their goddamn monsters were put into my head. Maybe then I'd be able to love. No boundaries, no shame. Pure, you know? I need that. We all need that.
Julian?
Huh?
You're negative.
Shout out to Andrew. We had a lot of fun shooting that via Zoom.
Loving these comments right now. The force is with the show. What a heartfelt song.
Awesome.
Future of storytelling.
It's really sweet, you guys. Thanks for all the shout outs.
And I think, to go off what you said before, this is more than just a coming of age story. This is, years and years of span of storytelling.
Yeah, I tried to really write the journey of a person, you know, from the time they're little. It begins in the 80s when Julian's 8 or 9, through high school and afterwards until adulthood, and the challenges we face as gay men.
And someone is asking, how can we buy the music? You mentioned that is going to be as a single soon.
Yeah, it's dropping this week. I Want Your Love. Shannon and I released that song a couple of years back, so that's available as well. And it's all on iTunes and Amazon and wherever you get your music.
You can go to theladiesmanmusical.com. I have it right up for you right now.
Thank you.
So
I want to give a quick shout out to our investors for believing in the show and its message, especially John and Yvonne. We couldn't have produced these music videos without your help. So thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, do you feel that your real life experiences have strengthened the integrity of the show? Because I think so much of it is the two of you meeting and writing songs and realizing that your lives were a show.
Yeah, there's something magic about that. There's always been something magic about Shannon and my friendship and our story. And you know, we didn't get the record deal and become the pop stars, but it's living on in a different way that was unexpected, and that I've found a lot of healing through writing this piece. And I've learned the difference between faith and religion, and for me, that's been a savior. So,
you know, I think also, if I can chime in really quickly, you know, I think that you get several soulmates in this life, and you know, Justin is definitely one of those for me. And I think if you find a connection through music or through anything, through any common interest, I think you just have to nurture that. And we are a living example of what, Justin, 10 plus years of effort towards each other, towards our friendship, towards our music. And if we have just helped ourselves, then that's enough.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to put up, again, someone said, how can I help? This is where you need to go to help.
Yeah.
All the info is right there.
Yeah, there's a link that directs you to justmort.com, which is my production company, and you could see how you can get involved on that website.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Shannon and Justin.
Thank you, guys.
Sing more of the show soon. Of course.
We'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
You know, it's so exciting to read about the show and to hear you talk about Justin and other people talk about him, but to hear him and Shannon talk about their lives and connecting to write this and Justin's journey, it just makes it so much deeper and richer.
And it's a story we need. I mean, the comments during this entire segment have been just like so emotional and amazing to me to read. People are connecting. People need this show, and people need to hear this story. I think there's people who, you know, music speaks to everyone for one reason or another, and this show is speaking to people for that reason.
Totally. Well, that's our show for tonight. Next week, we will present a special holiday edition of our programming with a 35-minute excerpt of the new musical, The Bestest Office Christmas Party Ever. The presentation was created in quarantine.
Yes, and we're really excited about it. It's kind of the first of its kind for our programming. The Bestest Office Christmas Party Ever is written by New York Theater Barn favorites Drew Larimore and Billy Reese. Billy was on our first broadcast ever digitally back in March, so he is a pioneer of our programming. And it's directed by Aaron Simon Gross, who directed our last in-person programming before the pandemic. So literally, what a group. And
may have appeared on Broadway in a show at some point.
He's one of my buds. I love him. And following the presentation, we will host a conversation with the three of them. So tune in for that.
Should be a lot of fun. And it takes an incredible amount of work to make tonight's show happen. So in order to continue to lift up artists and original musicals, we really need your help. So please join our generous donors by making your gift today on our website at nytheaterbarn.org/give.
Again, that link is nytheaterbarn.org/give. And, you know, we always on this broadcast try to remain non-political, but we always want to make sure people are being smart and active. And as you know, we won the fight a month ago, but there's still more to do. If you are a Georgia resident, the runoff election is in January, and it is the last week to register to vote if you are not registered to vote in that election. So tell your 5 friends that live in Georgia, do what you can. We got to flip the Senate now. Come on.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in tonight, and thank you for supporting live theater.
Yes, thank you for supporting live theater, and we will see you next week. Good night.
New York Theater Barn has provided an amazing space for the development of original new works. Not just as a woman, but as a queer woman, I've been supported at New York Theater Barn.
So I really feel thankful that I've gotten to present this, because I feel like as I've been able to take up more space in different rooms, this musical's allowed to do that. So it's the power of new work, the magic of new work.
And wanted to say a huge thank you to Joe Barros and everyone at New York Theater Barn for being a creative home to so many artists and incubating such exciting new work.
Well, I want to thank you and Jen for having us on the show today. If I had known what goes into doing these things, I don't know what I would have thought. First of all, you two are both like Mr. Wizard. You're just unbelievable. And all of the technical stuff that is involved with putting these New Work series together and our special event tonight, it's just overwhelming and astounding. You both are phenomenal. So thank you so very much. I applaud you both. You're amazing.
Thank you for me too. Thank you for me too.